Hi everyone. So I am live from Sarasota, Florida, and as you can see, there's nobody on the beach. Nope. We have a tropical storm warning, although other than the threatening skies, you would never know it. No rain. I've got my super duper cushioned, protected windscreen on, and I just tried to do a Facebook Live and got a message saying you're not allowed to do it. I jumped through some hoops, answered their questions, and spent about 10 minutes trying to do that, as I usually go live at noon on Tuesdays, which it is, although well past that now, and it still said I couldn't go live. So I figured I would give it a try here on YouTube, and I'm just, for a lot of reasons, ready to give up Facebook Lives and Facebook altogether, because it's just so difficult to do things these days, and it seems you get a lot more viewers and a lot more play on YouTube. But I digress. So we have this storm coming in. I have checked the 11 o'clock advisory, which is, hey Linda, oh that's so nice to see like real live people watching. Let me know if you can hear me. Obviously I was preparing for gale force winds, tropical storm force winds, and I have a double windscreen on. So let me know if you can hear me okay, but there is like no wind right now. In fact, I'm really pretty hot in this jacket, but you never know when one of these will blow on shore, and we did just have a little bit of a downpour a few minutes ago. But you know, this is kind of ideal to see water spouts in these kinds of conditions when it's really humid and you've got some of this heat coming in. So I'm keeping an eye on the skyline there. But a little bit of wind picking up on my drive here. I live about 20 minutes inland, and you know, I thought things were going to kind of ramp up this morning, but looking at the radar, looking at the advisory, and not that I am any expert when it comes to meteorology, although I almost went into it, and as a television reporter and a morning anchor, I had to kind of be on top of some of these weather forecasts, so I kind of got to recognize similar patterns or different kinds of patterns. And if you have any comments or questions, by the way, please always, as a former reporter, there are no stupid questions, but feel free to ask me anything to the extent I can answer it, or at least say I don't know. All right, so the city of Sarasota is closed today, which is, I guess, why there are no lifeguards here, or maybe they're just thinking, okay, it's time to get out of here. But really, actually, the sun is out as we speak. But here's what's going on, at least my summary of it. They have issued a hurricane watch for parts of, actually it starts at Egmont Key, which is just north of Anna Maria Island where I used to live. And it's just a little bit, tiny bit north of Sarasota. So kind of close. So they are expecting hurricane conditions possibly later today or tonight. So that's what that's telling me. And by looking at the radar, I can see, my eye is seeing this rotation of the storm. Hopefully it doesn't become more than it is, but the advisory is saying that it might. And that's why they've issued the hurricane watch, because later it might, there might be hurricane conditions, even though it's not technically a hurricane. It's kind of complicated, but and you just never know with these storms what's going to happen. But like today, it's really a pretty good beach day. And let's go down to the water and see how rough it is. I don't see any whitecaps out there. You would never know what is maybe going to come. In fact, we have some optimistic surfers out there, which you generally don't see on the west coast of Florida. So I think it's more wishful thinking at this point, but we'll see what they do, and we'll see if the conditions do change. So I am shooting this in landscape mode. So I'm not seeing any comments or questions at this point, but just do feel free. Also, because the sun is kind of out, it's pretty bright to see into the screen of the phone, but it's actually downright gorgeous here, and I love the color of the water. It's they don't call this the Emerald Coast for nothing, and it's really quite a calm day, actually, as it goes. Now, they had, the last time the lifeguard was here, they had a yellow flag out, which means it's not exactly calm, but it isn't exactly stormish either. So you can see that it's just not very, very rough at all. And that doesn't mean there may be some good waves for the surfers to pick up on as the swells start to get larger, but again, not, I think the best they're going to get is like just kind of skimming. Those are called skimmer boards. What they've got, actually, those are not. As I get closer to them, I see that they're not surfboards. So my kids used to do the skimmer boards, and you just do that basically along the shoreline where it's kind of easy and tame. So I guess you could surf with one of those if you got a really super duper good wave and you had good body control, but at least for now, they're just doing skimming. So again, nobody on the beach. You know, there was some lightning a little further south down in Venice, and it looks like there's a little bit of a rain, dare I call it a squall out there. It's definitely darker, and it gives a gorgeous contrast to the water. So we're expecting this will go through the night and through tomorrow. I think I saw late tomorrow is when this will come to an end. But again, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. But you know, you just never know, and sometimes these can turn on a dime. Getting a little bit of a sprinkle now, but not too big of a deal. And I'm going to walk toward the lifeguard stand because they do have some interesting stats posted up there that I always like to read, and I'll share them with you. Sometimes I'm guessing they're going to have the temperature of the Gulf of Mexico, which is part of the reason that the storm is growing just a little bit, even though it ran smack dab into the mountains of Cuba, which usually break the storms down. And in this case, not sure what the outcome of that yet is going to be exactly. But the fact that they're saying it might strengthen tells me that the temperature of the Gulf is fueling that fire, which it often does. And okay, so they're saying that the yellow flag is for Storm Elsa. And so medium hazard is what the yellow actually means when there's not a tropical storm. But the water temperature is 85 degrees, and that is pretty warm for this time of year. Usually you don't see the mid to upper 80s until like August, when it's kind of bathtub temperature. And I was just swimming in the Gulf 2 days ago, and it seemed very pleasant but very warm, and it was also in the morning, so sometimes that can make a difference. But nothing else other than talking about rip currents, which there will be with the incoming storm. And now that we're a distance away from the shoreline, you can see the beautiful clouds as they are coming in. Well, I'm just going to hang out here since there are no further questions that I can see, and maybe there are some, and I just have to change the juxtaposition of the camera to see them in the replay. I'll certainly answer any questions that you might have now or later on the replay. So I'm going to be updating throughout with my editor. I send her videos and she uploads them with what vegans eat during a tropical storm, and I've been prepping for this. I mean, you prep the same way for a tropical storm as you do for a hurricane, and I always say that hurricanes are nature's way of refilling the water table and doing a little tree pruning. In fact, I rode bikes this morning with a neighbor who said she was supposed to have an arborist come by her house this morning to deal with a dead tree, but the arborist canceled because of the storm, and the storm may just go ahead and take care of it. So we're just hanging out here, and I hope you are safe and sound wherever you are. And if you have any questions, please, again, feel free to drop them down below and let me know what you'd like to hear. All right, everybody, gotta run.